This is Dental All Stars, where we bring you the best in dentistry on marketing, management, and training. Here's your host, Alex Nottingham.
Let's talk about the 4 elements of an all-star team. And just to review, we are covering the 5 steps to an all-star practice. In our last episode, we spoke about your vision. Your vision outlines your aspirations and goals. It's a way to express your purpose and impact to the world. So you're going to run every decision you make through your vision. You're going to write it down. So let's get right to it. The second element to the 5 steps of an all-star practice is the 4 elements of an all-star team or your team. Let's talk about your team. And the 4 elements are, number 1, your team is committed to patient service. They're committed to your vision. Because you better have patient service as part of your vision, mission, purpose, or you've come to the wrong place. Second, these team members take initiative. They're proactive. You don't have to always tell them what to do. They want to improve. They want to get better. They want to make your practice into a place of patient service. And number 3, they love learning. They have a growth mindset. And lastly, they love feedback. Positive, no drama. So they're learning, they're open to feedback, they're open to supporting your vision, they're proactive. All these are elements of an all-star team member. And remember, your team has to equal your vision and those elements. And remember, you're welcome to change the elements. I'm giving you a guide to what you use to hire team members and keep team members. If your team equals the vision and elements we talked about, you reinforce that ethic. What if they don't meet your vision and the 4 steps to an all-star team member? Well, you have to differentiate between will not and cannot. I always say, give your team member the benefit of the doubt. Train them, coach them, provide them resources. Now, if they will not, meaning I won't comply to your vision, I'm not going to be proactive, I'm not going to be part of those elements, I'm not going to take feedback well, then you need to get rid of them. It's always the lowest common denominator that brings your entire team down. It's not the good that raises all ships. It's the bad that brings everybody down. That's how it works. So if they cannot, meaning they lack the confidence or the competence, then train them. And if they still can't get it, gently let them go. It just may not be the right fit your office or even the dental industry. You have to be steadfast to your values. Your vision and values are greater than any person, including yourself. You may have a situation where you don't have the right team or you're understaffed. So let me give you a bonus, the 5 steps to all-star hiring. First, you have to craft the job description. And by the way, I'm going to go through these and I'm going to give you a link to the podcasts where I go into detail with our director of hiring on how to do this. So you have your job description. You then have to do the job post, right? Makes sense. You do the interview, you do the offer, and then you have to onboard. And we'll talk more about that in the next episode. There's a few steps to consider in the 5 steps to all-star hiring. You got to go in order. You can't skip steps. The other thing to think about is opportunity cost. What is it my time and my team's time's worth in order to hire people? Now, you may say my team member isn't very expensive per hour, but their impact on the business, you're building, in many cases, a multi-million-dollar machine and tens of millions of dollars in growth and benefits over the years. You got to be focusing on that. You have to also think about how effective am I at hiring? Do it properly where you mitigate any potential legal exposure by hiring improperly. And that's why we offer an all-star hiring service. So you can get back to growing your business and doing what you love. Just to give you an example in some perspective, I could do my own marketing, but it isn't worth my time. So I have other people do it. I could do a deep cleaning of my house, but it's not worth my time and I don't love doing it. I could paint my house. No. Okay. So I love this quote. Why step over dollars to grab pennies? And there's this really cool thing I learned in the EOS framework, which is the entrepreneurial operating system. It's called Delegate to Elevate. And what they talk about is if you love doing something and you are great or good at it, do it. Otherwise, delegate it. So you got to love it. You got to be good at it or great at it. Otherwise, don't do it. Delegate it. And that's where I talked about the hiring service. And you can learn more about that at allstardentalacademy.com/hiring. So we covered the first 2 steps of the 5 steps to an all-star practice. We talked about vision. We talked about the right team members. In our next episode, the 3rd step to the 5 steps to an all-star practice, we're going to talk about how to train like an all-star. Remember to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share, and do all that fun stuff. And until next time, go out there and be an all-star.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dental All-Stars. Visit us online at allstardentalacademy.com.